Welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking 5 habits that took me from the Olympic podium to financial freedom. So, if you don't know me that well, you're just tuning in for the first time. My name is Lauren Williams. I am a 4-time Olympian, and I am the first American woman to earn a medal in both the Summer and the Winter Olympics. Yes, I had an awesome life before I became a certified financial planner, but I'm loving my life as a financial planner as well. But there's been some things that have transferred over. This is one of the questions I'm asked most frequently in interviews is like, what did you learn as an athlete that transferred over into your career in finances? And so today I thought I'd do a little spin on that. It's like not just what I learned as an athlete that, transferred to my career, but transferred to my own financial freedom. All right, so let's cover the 5 habits that I think are most important in my Olympic life that have transferred over into my financial life. Number 1, discipline. Discipline is the idea of doing something on a regular basis with consistency. It is even when you don't want to, you do that thing consistently. So I got up this morning and I worked out even though I was tired, I did not sleep well. I needed to be consistent. I didn't do the best workout in the world today, but I got up and I did the workout because I need to keep that in my schedule. I need to keep it on my program. And that kind of discipline that I had as an athlete is showing up even when you don't feel like it, showing up even when you're sore, showing up even after you got your butt beat is really how I think of discipline. And I think that is so important to take over into your finances because you can't win every single day, but you can show up every single day for your finances. So think about how you can be disciplined in your finances. Maybe it is transferring $5 a week, no matter what, to a savings account. It's a small amount and you're like, but this is my minimum. Sometimes I'm going to transfer 10, sometimes I'm going to transfer 20, or whatever it is based on your financial goals. I'm going to be disciplined to do that thing regardless. I had this expense this month. I had XYZ happen. I can find $5 every single week to transfer from this account to my savings account, period. I overspent over the weekend and I'm, feeling a little bit sad about it. Discipline is getting back on the horse, even after you've fallen off. So like I said, you just got your butt beat on the track. You show up for practice anyway because you know there are more competitions in the future. You're not going to do everything perfect, but discipline is being consistent with what you need to do in order to reach your financial goals. The second habit I think is important is focus. You've got to eliminate the distractions, put the blinders on, and get ready to achieve what it is that you have set a goal to do, period. And eliminating distractions is easier said than done because there are plenty of them. They are just here all the time. There's noise, there are distractions, there's social media, there's just la 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 all the time, but you've got to eliminate distractions. In track and field, it's kind of like tunnel vision. They say on your mark, and I don't hear or see anything else. My mom was notorious for waiting until everything was really quiet and then yelling my name. I had to learn how to drown that out as a distraction and get into the tunnel vision because the only thing that was important was for me to get from the start line to the finish line as quickly as humanly possible, and nothing else mattered for the next 20 or 30 seconds. Talk about the time to get in the blocks because it didn't take me 20 seconds to run the race. Usually 11 seconds or less. But you have to eliminate the distractions that are in life. And so when I think about this, there's this is shiny new object that pops up that is a cute purse or a new set of headphones or a new set of shoes, whatever it is that is your thing, and it distracts you from what you actually were trying to accomplish long term. You wanted to be able to go on a trip to Europe, and you wanted to be able to fill in the blank with XYZ thing this year, and you were saving X number of dollars to do it, and now you set yourself back a month because you got distracted by that pair of shoes. There was a bigger long-term goal that was way more important to you, but you allowed yourself to be distracted by something that was a little bit important here, or made you feel good in the moment, but it didn't help you get where you wanted to go quickly. Where I see this often, is also with home down payment. People are like, I want to buy a house next year. So they set an unrealistic goal of in 12 months, I'm going to have enough money to buy a house. And you really, really got to focus if you want to save enough money. It's like you're changing your whole budget. You're kind of buckling down. you're taking other things out of your discretionary spending, and you're putting all of that toward home buying in a 12-month period. Maybe, thing number one that you might want to do is stretch that out over 2 years or 3 years. You don't have to buy a house tomorrow. Sometimes we just get this itch and we feel like we got to scratch it immediately. But if you're wanting to do that and it's really, really important to you, then you've got to focus. You can't get distracted by the shoes or the headphones or the, fill in the blank with XYZ thing, because every dollar matters. We got to stay focused. The third thing that I think is important is adaptability. So I talked about this a little bit at the beginning when I was talking about discipline. Sometimes you get knocked a little bit off track. You've got to be able to pivot in the moment. So, in sports world, being able to adapt is like, it starts raining just as your race is getting ready to be called. And so you've had a nice warm up, you're feeling great, you're hot, you're ready to go. And then all of a sudden, cold, wet rain comes on. And you got to figure out how to stay warm and keep going. You've got to adapt in that situation, because the circumstances are the same for everybody. Everybody has to run that race in that rain, in that situation. And you can totally let it mess up your mental. It's like, gosh, I'm wet, I'm cold, I'm angry. Like, I was really planning on a perfect race. I was feeling so great. And before you know it, you've distracted yourself. And now you're no longer on course for what you want to do. You're not focused. But being adaptable is all about being able to pivot in the moment and deciding, hey, I'm going to be able to change in the moment to be able to accommodate what could be a setback and keep on going. So how does this look in our finances? Let's see what happens. A bill pops up that you hadn't actually planned on, having to pay this month. For me, something that popped up recently was a bigger than normal electric bill. Because something was actually not right with the house, and we were like, where is this, like we're not leaving any lights on, like what's happening here? And so it was like an extra $40 that, like, it's just like, this is a lot more than a normal bill. I live in Medellin, Colombia, so that's a bunch of money to spend on an electric bill. You've got to be adaptable and realize, like, okay, this set me back here. I, maybe can't go out to eat, that has to come from the food budget. And now I need to, eat some ramen noodles or some rice or something like that. But I got to be able to adapt, because everything is not always going to go as planned. But I don't want that to set me back. So like I said, if I got a home buying goal, I'm probably not going to pull my $40 from that goal. Sometimes you might have to. There's nowhere else to get it from. But adapting and, giving yourself some grace in the moment is like, I couldn't see this coming, so it's okay. There's also a time where you might use your emergency fund depending on what it is that you have to purchase. But being adaptable, getting ready for those setbacks, pivoting around them, and keep going forward. That is the key. The fourth habit that I think is really important, or goal or value or vision, these are habits, but these are also like things you should be living on. They're like pillars in your life, if you will, is accountability. You cannot do this by yourself. This is absolutely important, because everybody thinks like, I accomplished this, I did this thing, I can do it on my own. And while you are the driving force, we are in community with one another all the time. We are in contact with each other. We are supporting one another. There are other people in your life that are cheering for you, and you don't have to do it alone, nor should you have to do it alone. And it's a lot harder when nobody knows what it is that you're trying to accomplish, and you're just in the trenches by yourself. You have no one to talk to about it. So accountability looks like having a partner that you can talk to, or someone that is seeing what you're doing and continue to cheer you on. In the financial world, having somebody that you can talk to about money is so, so important. And it is the thing that we most frequently do not want to do. It's like, I don't want to talk to nobody about the amount of debt that I have. I don't want them to know that I'm buying a $500,000 house. I don't want to, let them know that I'm behind on saving retirement. We have so much money shame that it prohibits us from talking openly about finances. And then depending on what background you come from, you might not come from a place where people talk about money at all. And it might have even been rude to talk about money. In which case you're like, I'm not talking to nobody about this. No way, no how. But there are plenty of ways that you can share with somebody what you're trying to accomplish financially without giving them the keys to your financial kingdom. Sometimes people are worried if I tell them that I'm trying to save $1,000 a month, they're like, girl, where'd you get $1,000 per month? Loan me some money. If it's that kind of friend, that's probably not an accountability partner to begin with. But you also don't need to be afraid to say, no, absolutely not. This is a goal that I have to accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish. You can use the money that you're earning to try to save your $1,000 a month, or I can help you get your finances on track and use the budgeting system or whatever financial planning system that you're using to get yourself going. But don't be afraid to find someone, and I'm sure you have someone in your life that's not the beggar that I'm talking about, that actually will cheer you on. It's like, yes, you can save it. That $1,000 a month is easy to do. Let's not go out for drinks tonight because they're $12 each. Let's stay in and get one $12 bottle of wine and split it, and now you have more money. That you want that kind of friend in your pocket, or that kind of person cheering you on so that you can achieve your goals. But you got to tell somebody, because when you say it out loud, it makes it real. When you write it down, it makes it real. Simply having something in your head that you're trying to achieve on your own, you're going to adapt in a negative way. Like, okay, I was trying to save $1,000 a month, but I could really only save like $400 a month and whatever, because this is my situation. You start to justify it, and nobody knew about it in the first place. And then you get to the end of the year and you're like, gosh, I had a goal of saving $12,000. I only saved $6,000. And it's because you didn't have that accountability. You probably could have done it if someone would have cheered you along the way. All right, that brings me to the last habit that I think is important, and it's consistency. So I mentioned consistency at the top when we were talking about discipline, because discipline is being consistent on a regular basis. But the discipline piece of the puzzle is like, I'm doing it even when I don't want to. I am doing it when it's hard. I'm doing it when it hurts. I'm doing it, fill in the blank. The consistency is the interval in which you're doing it. I'm going to do this thing every week. Do it every week. I'm going to do this thing every day. Do it every day. I'm going to do it twice a month. Whatever the case is, consistency is key to being able to achieve your goal. We talked about it. It might fall off once or twice, but even if you fall off once or twice, if you have it in your head that every Tuesday and Thursday I'm going to do XYZ thing, every Tuesday and Thursday, even if you miss one or two for the year, is going to have you much better off at the end of the year than I was doing every Tuesday and Thursday. But then what had happened was, and so now I'm only doing Tuesdays, and sometimes I got to do Wednesdays because every once in a while on Tuesdays I got to go to this other thing. Like, if it is a priority for you, make it something that you can do consistently and have the discipline to be consistent about doing that thing. Ultimately, you will get to the end and you will see like, oh my goodness, I didn't do a bad job of trying to reach my goal. So in sport, we absolutely had to be consistent with what we're trying to achieve. You had to race a certain amount of times in order to get what we refer to as race sharp. So that's being consistent. If you're not going to get enough races in before the national championship, you're not going to be race sharp, and that's going to be a hard thing. Even if you're fit, you don't have that sharpness that you need in order to be able to compete round after round, to be able to, there's elimination. So you're like, oh, first round, second round, third round, and every round there's less people. You got to be race sharp to be able to make it through those rounds, and that comes from being consistent earlier on. So those are my 5 tips for how to be successful in your financial life that have carried over from my Olympic life, and I hope they help you better organize your finances.